All right, so let's just do a quick reminder here on how to paint a little bit with ProCreate. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to finish your drawing, and you're going to get a good quality picture of your ink drawing. So you can see here I shot a picture of my drawing. I went into edit, and I just did a few things here. At the top knob here you can see I messed with the exposure a little bit. Here I just sort of brightened it up because we want those whites to be pretty bright like that. You can sort of work your way down here. I left the brilliance alone. I left the highlights alone, but again, you can tweak these a little bit. You can see how the lines change a little bit. We just want those to be as bright as possible. Shadows, I don't need any shadows in here. The contrast, I upped the contrast a little bit. Here again, because I want to try to make that as black and white as possible. Because the more black and white it is, the better the multiply layer works. So again, you can see that. Make some adjustments. Most importantly, you want to crop your picture here. So I went in and I cropped off all the extra outside edges. I straightened it up, and I didn't want any of the background of the table or anything showing. All right, I'm going to say done. So that's step one. Step two is I'm going to go to my ProCreate app right here. There you go. And I'm going to make a new picture, but I'm going to use a photo. Right, and I'm going to select my photo here. I think it's this one. I hate when there's two like that. There we go, and here's my project. Up here in the upper corner, remember here are my layers menus, right? So these are my different layers as well. I am going to make a new layer because that's going to be my actual coloring layer, like this. And I'm going to bring this layer below my drawing layer, all right? Then I'm going to click on that letter N right there, and where it says normal, I'm going to say multiply. So I'm going to look around here for multiply. There it is at the top. And I say M for multiply. So now, whatever, oops, yes, I got the right letter. You just want to make sure you're on the right layer. So it says M up here for multiply and N for normal. Now when I color on my background layer here, so let's just choose, I don't know, let's just choose a crazy red color here for the heck of it. Oops, did it not stick? Oh, that's weird. Why are you not? Oh, because this is down here, I'm sorry. Yeah, rookie mistake. So remember, this is your shading and your tinting, right? So shading is black, tinting is white. This is more pure color here, pure hue just in the middle. So I'm gonna, actually let's make it like a blue. Let's start with our background color here. So let's go this way. I'm gonna make this sort of like a darker blue color like that. All right, I'm gonna look at my brush. So for drawing paint, I'm gonna paint a little bit. You can ink, you can do whatever you like here, but I'm going to go for painting. And I'm going to go with, I don't know, how about something fun here? How about some wet acrylic we're going to use? Right, and then if I recall on this side, this is the size of my brush over here, right? And then this is the opacity of my brush. Now these are going to be important because as you put your color in here, you're going to layer. So for my first few colors, I am just going to use a pretty dark color and a pretty solid color here. So let's start doing the background here. So again, I make sure I'm on my back layer here, and I just start to paint. All right, I'm not too worried because again, I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint over top of this stuff in layers. Right, I'm going to think about this as layers. All right, the more you paint over it, that's the nice thing about using opacity is the darker it gets. So I'm going to turn my opacity down a little bit more. I'm going to go up here with my darker. I'm going to bring this darker here, and I'm going to start to just sort of darken some of these clouds up here like this. And then I'm going to make this background really dark up here like that. All right, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make this really dark like that. And maybe I'm going to put a little purple in there just to make it a little more colorful. Just like that. Okay, so again, I can see that I'm coloring over top of these here, but this is okay because what I'm going to do is when I'm ready to come back in here, and I'm going to select flesh tone here, and again, depending on your character, I'm going to use my brush size here. I'm going to shrink this brush down. I'm going to start with a slightly darker opacity here. And I'm just going to paint right on top of this guy here. There you go. See, that's the cool part of this, is I just layer right on top of here, and it loses the other color there, and I just keep layering the new color on top. And again, you can get in here really close. I am sort of just doing this in a hurry here. But you can be a little more careful with this kind of coloring here. You know, and if you want to, like I'm being very lazy here and just sort of scribbling this color in here. But you can also, like if you want to be careful, like you could just do background layer. So like this could be my cloud layer, and then I can make a new layer right above it. And this could be my flesh layer here. So that way if I make a mistake like this, and I want to come in with my eraser, I can erase on this flesh layer and not damage the sky. Because right now, otherwise if I color over the sky, it's going to stick. Right? So that's all you do. And then as you build your shadows here, right, like here, if I come this way and I say, all right, let's make this a little darker here for some shadows, I turn my opacity down. Let's turn opacity up a little bit more. Right, and I just start to create some shadowing on my figure here. Let's make this a little darker. There we go. And I can add some shadowing that way, like on the hands, you know, if this thumb is darker here and these fingers a little dark underneath. That shading is how you start to get that three-dimensional look to it, right? And here, these hands are going to be a little darker. But you can see I already sort of messed up because I painted this other part here and I'm with blue. I'm not going to get that. And then this brush technique I'm using is just, it's sort of like a messy little brush there. But you can certainly, what do you call it? You can certainly come back in. Let's do our lightning up here. And repaint or brighten things up. So maybe I'll use a different brush for this. That's my wet acrylic. Let's do, let's just do a good old-fashioned round brush here. Oops. That is not the right size brush there. Remember, two-finger tap is undo. You know, I don't like that round brush because I want it to be tapered. I need, let's see, I'm going to use a calligraphy brush. And I'm going to use this water pen because I want it to be pointed at the end. Oops. Two-finger tap. Brush size down. There we go. I want this to be a little more chalky. Like that. So like this lightning. Again, I'm going to make this out of the sky here. Like that. Then I'm going to go to here. I'm going to make this almost white. I'm going to use a really big brush, but I'm going to go really faint. All right, there we go. Look at that. And then I might do, yeah, see, I should have made a separate layer. I should have made a lightning layer. Well, I guess I sort of did here. I'm going to keep lightening that opacity up. And I'm just sort of, there you go. See, like the lightening of that opacity is important. And let's put a little bit on his face here. Right, like you can see some highlights of that explosive light on his hands here. His hand is almost perfectly lit up here. So there you go. So you can see that's how I start to get that lightning happening there. And it looks like it's showing up pretty cool there. But again, that lightning, I just did that as sort of a quick example, but you would probably end up doing that towards the end. You know, obviously put your highlights. So you'd put all your base color down first, and then you would slowly start to figure out, you know, again, what your basic color scheme is, where your colors go. Let's make this sort of a red color. You know, experiment with your brushes. I know there's a lot of tutorials and things online that probably can help you out a little bit in deciding how to add color and stuff like that too. You know, a lot of this I just do by instinct here. I am not the best ProCreate drawer. This is actually a pretty new tool to me. But again, I'm using artists' instincts, right? I'm using instincts that I have as an artist, and I know that layering, I know that using a light a light transparent brush and layering different colors and different tones on there works pretty well. So it all sort of works hand in hand. So there you go. Good luck to you.